Hello everyone, welcome back. We're finally kind of back into the projects now, and what we're going to be doing today is making some nice little simple placemats for a Christmas gift. Now I'm going to be using just this bit of jacaranda branch. I'm not exactly sure how long it's been drying for, but probably at least 5 years, and it's probably about 4.5 or 5 inch in diameter there. It's not critical. It's going to be fairly simple, so I won't do a whole lot of explanation, but essentially just cutting slices through so you got a nice kind of rustic looking placemats, which should look really nice. So I'm just going to be using my cross-cutting saw here, and a few other things. I'm going to be using a marking gauge to mark out the thicknesses for each cut. This isn't necessary, you can just use your pencil and a ruler. However, I'm just using this for the sake of speed and accuracy. Maybe in another video, if you want me to do, I can show you how to actually make a quick one of these, which is a fairly nice little project there. So yeah, I'm going to just be cutting through these. I'm going to do 6 placemats, or coasters, sorry, 6 coasters. And then yeah, we'll come back when we're cleaning them up. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're not already, like the video, and leave a comment if you want me to show you how to make a marking gauge. Okay, so before actually getting to cutting it, it's gonna be a lot easier if I can kind of dress and prep at least one side for finish each time I do it, as I can obviously, as you can see, hold it a lot better in the vise with a whole branch there. Now this side's already cut nice and flat and square, but I'm going to just go over with a file, just a mill bastard file, and finish it with a bit of sandpaper. So this should hopefully just flatten out the big ridges from sawing, and any other bits of furries hopefully. Okay, so I think that's going to be pretty good in terms of the file, and you could actually leave it here if you wanted to. Just be quite a, I guess, rough surface. But what I'm going to do is actually, I've got this orbital sander here, and I didn't realize I'd actually need to go get some more sanding pads, which I'll do later, but I'll show you just for example's sake, finishing this off, and it should come up quite nicely there. So I'll get into that. Now as you can see, there's still lines through here. As I said before, I ran out of sanding pads and I need to go get some more. So that's just from not having a coarse enough pad really. But if you look down here, this is kind of what I'm aiming for, just a really nice, smooth, consistent finish there. And as I said before, you could finish it off with a file if that's what you wanted. It's just important to always keep this flat, as it's going to be sitting on a table with a drink on it. But yeah, so I'll have to go get those pads, but I'll finish doing off one and I'll show you, as I'm sure you don't want to see all 6 being done. Catch up. Okay, so I just cut that out there. Now it's worked quite well. I pivoted my saw around the perimeter so that I wouldn't be breaking out on the other side, because then I want to keep the bark on and that would break the bark off. But as it is, the saw, if you have a saw like that, leaves it quite flat as it is. Now, as you can hopefully see, my scribe mark at 20 mils there, there's probably another mil or two left there. So you could just file that off or sand it, depending on if you've got a really efficient sander. But I'm going to show you another option as well, which is planing it. Now, I happen to have a nice little block plane here, which the good thing about these is that they're a very low angle blade compared to a smoothing plane, for instance. And what this allows you to achieve very well is to be able to clean up end grain and slice it. So if I just show you here a little bit, I can just knock down those high spots very efficiently and leave a very nice surface there as well. Now hopefully you can see from the side there, around here, the comparison between over here where the rough saw is. Now you could also leave it straight off the plane here, except with the end grain it does end up becoming a little bit spiky, I guess is the way I could call it. So yeah, you can choose whatever method you want to flatten this out. So I'll finish flattening this off, then I'll get back to you with the finishing, I suppose. Okay, so I'm just going to put a second coat on here, letting the first one dry there. So I've taken this up to 400 grit on the surfaces, which just gives a really nice silky finish to it. And as you may have seen with the first coat of this Danish oil here, since this is end grain, it really soaks it up. So I'm doing 2 coats here. First one's mostly just to soak into the grain. This one's to give a little bit more of a surface finish. And then I'm also going to finish it with some paste wax, which I have over there, to hopefully give it a little bit more of waterproofing protection and a bit of a hard wearing surface. So I have also been doing the bark here, just to hopefully harden that up a bit, stop it from flaking away or anything like that. So I'm using Danish oil instead of boiled linseed oil, which I usually use for, say, my tool handles and stuff like that. As I really like the finish of this, I think it gives a little bit more of a actual surface finish, whereas linseed oil is mostly just soaking in, and this gives a really nice kind of dull luster, which I really like. Now, if you can see there in the reflection, it's still soaked in, but not nearly as much as the first time. I'll let that dry for a minute or so like that, and then I'll come back with a dry cloth and I'll remove the excess oil so it doesn't get tacky and gummy on the surface. Okay, so that's that one, the second coat finished. And as you might be able to see, it's really nice silky dull finish there. So I'm gonna let that dry until it feels dry rather than a bit tacky. It'd be better to leave it longer, but I need to get this out, so then I'll come back with the paste wax. Buff it on there, let it dry a little bit, and then fully buff it off as much as I can, and that should give a good finish on that one. See you then. Okay, so this is dry. I'm just going to put the paste wax on. This is some pretty standard paste wax. I'm pretty sure you should be able to get in America as well. I'm just going to put a fairly decent coat on here, get in the rough grain there, if you really get it in. I'm just going to do this on the end grain, not the bark. The buffing might kind of destroy it a little bit, but also just because the end grain is the main bit that I want to get protected, the bark shouldn't be too bad. So there you go, just apply it like that. This is quite an oily wax. Like that, let it dry fairly thick, and I'll come back probably within a minute again to buff it off. Okay, so this wax actually takes a bit longer to dry than I thought it would, but it's now kind of nice dry finish there. And now I'm just going to get another clean cloth so it doesn't have the wax in it. I'm just going to buff it really hard to remove as much wax as I can. As you can hopefully see there, gives a really nice sheen and luster to it. Just like that. And that will hopefully then protect it a little bit more from moisture and water, and yeah, hold up a bit better. And that's a finished coaster. Okay guys, so there they are, 6 finished log placemats. Now that should make a nice little, fairly quick, simple gift this Christmas. And of course you don't have to take the finish up as high as I did. I just did that, I wanted a little bit more of a polished aesthetic rather than complete rustic. But do it how you like it, up to you. And yeah, you can present them nicer. I'll probably wrap them up in a bit of string or ribbon or something like that, and it should make a nice little gift. Now that said, I've got quite a few more gift videos coming out. I'll see what I do first. That includes a lot of forging. I think the rest of them are going to be, so look forward to that. I'm also going to be doing a 100 subscriber giveaway soon, as I'm very close. And for that, I'm going to be hand turning a nice wooden pen. So if you're interested in that, make sure to follow along. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you want me to show you how to make a marking gauge. A nice, quick, simple one. And with that said, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.